Professor Worgley's here. We just finished building the query. We printed it out, made sure everything was proper with it. Now we're going to execute the query and continue building the code. So remember, to run the query, we call this connection variable. I'm calling the connection variable here. I'm running the query with the query that we built, and I'm storing that in the result. Now remember, if I'm doing an insert, I'm not getting any data back. If I'm running a query and it's an insert query, it'll basically tell me whether the query was true or false. So I don't need to return any result. So what I can do here is get rid of this and actually just have a different if statement. I don't need to store any result. This is the code from the previous lecture for our login. Based off my connection, I can run the query with the query that we built. And as long as that is equivalent, you'll see 3 equals to true. So that means if the insert ran correctly, then we can get rid of this stuff here. Or actually just display some message here. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this here. I'll leave the error message. Even though it says error, that's basically just our message back to the front end. No error. I'll tell them that the new user was created successfully. Okay, which is a happy thing. And then I'm going to require the login form, and then I'm going to go ahead and exit this code. If the insert was successful, I'm going to let the user know, and then I'm going to send them back to the login form. If not, so if this was false, I need to display some error. I'll just say insert error, because this is going to be on the insert command. Insert error. I'll actually go ahead and give them the query. Okay, so that way the developer can see what's going on. Insert error, give them the query. Then on a new line, print out the connection error. Okay, and if there's an error, they didn't create a user, so I'll send them back to the CreateUser form and exit this code. So let's see, I'm not going to exit yet because I need to close my connections. So I didn't store any results because there is no results with an insert, but I still need to close that connection. Okay, so I'll do a MySQL I, close, and I'll exit here. Okay, I'll make sure I close that connection. Let's see, did I get rid of my error message for the passwords? There should be an if here to compare passwords. If the passwords are the same, connect to the database. Make sure you escape all the data. Insert the data. The data was inserted correctly. Put them back to the login form so they can log in with their new account. Otherwise, tell them there was an error. Close the connection and exit. And here's the else. It was there earlier. Else, there was an error with the passwords. Okay, if there's an error with the passwords, we'll just say error. Passwords do not match. And then we're going to require the CreateUser form. And we'll go ahead and exit. Okay, no reason to try to create the user if the passwords didn't match. Okay, this is just the first version. Let's see if it works. So I'll come back to my page. I'm going to go back. I'm going to create a real user this time. So here's my name. Here's my account. Let's just try a real one. So I'll say Nick. Password is Nick. Here's my birthday. Here's my email. Click on submit. Go to advanced to proceed because I'm using HTTPS. You'll see here, new user created successfully. And what's nice is it actually puts the username in the username field for me. So I'll type in the password, click submit. Okay, what happened? So let's see. Let's look at our login.php. Login, we'll grab the username and password, do a connection. Okay, we did a SHA-1 here, but that should still work. Run the query if the query equals to 1. Okay, so it's hitting this one. So where's this? So if I don't have a result, okay, that's because we changed this here. This actually should be user password, and this was username lowercase. Okay, so the query failed. I update the code, come back, make sure your query is correct. Let's do a log out. So let's create a new user. Let's try it all from the beginning. So Nick, this one we'll do Professor Wergeles. Username is Professor. Password is Professor. Birth date, pick some date, email. Click on submit. New user created successfully. It put the username here for me. Type in the password, and it lets me log in. Go to page 1, page 2, log out. Type in the user again. Log in. Incorrect username and password as I get the error. Type it correctly. Lets me log in. Okay, I can create a user. I don't know if I've created that user before, but we're going to try. Okay, click on submit. Okay, you'll see duplicate key for Nick. Now the data was erased. So in the next video, we're going to fix this up to make it even nicer. But at least the basic logic is working. So if I create a username and password that doesn't exist, okay, it lets me create it. I type the right password, lets me log in. So the prototype works. You continue to the next video, we'll make it a little bit nicer so it's easier for the user to insert in if they type some wrong information. Continue to the next video to complete this lecture.